Okay, so last time we did the mushroom experiment, we soaked some king oyster mushrooms in soda water, in some sparkling water. That ended up giving us a more tender, more flavorful mushroom. It really did. It was awesome. And gave us almost like a consistency of like a scallop. Now, I've seen tons of people make king oyster mushroom scallops. It's a fairly common recipe. One thing I want to try to do is, can we make a king oyster mushroom strip steak? King oyster mushrooms are slightly out of season right now, so these are smaller king oyster mushrooms. They're not those giant, huge ones that I would have liked to have gotten. But the strip steak idea led me on to another idea to experiment with, and that is using a meat tenderizer. Now, this particular type of meat tenderizer has a bunch of very sharp kind of like little blades on it that will poke through, and it will allow any marinades, things like that, to kind of penetrate. And it also leaves some kind of like tender like pieces to where it's gonna like break apart. Now, the first thing I'm gonna do for this steak is go ahead and remove the button cap ends. Now, you could save these. They go really well stewed. They work really well in like some soups and stuff. They're gonna be pretty awesome. I'm also gonna remove the ends. We don't really need to save those. So this is going to be our steak portion here. Now I'm just gonna get some water heated to kind of help with the marinade, with the broth of these. But the next step is we're gonna either chop these into like steaks or cut them in half to be two rounded ends. Now, because you could see that these are a lot thicker than like your normal steak would be. So for some of these, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna try, because I got 4 of them here, I'm gonna try just to kind of take the tops off and make this kind of more like just the flat steak shape. Just like the caps, I'm gonna save these little strips here just for my own, just for some fun. And then now we have what looks to be like a nice steak shape. I really like the way that's gonna come out. I think that's gonna be good. So I'm gonna do that with one more of these. And don't get rid of these little mushroom strips that you're cutting off. You can turn these into bacon, actually. Or you just chop them up and use them in something else. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with those. So I'm gonna take those 2 and just do that. And then for the other 2, I'm just gonna kind of cut them long ways. And we'll have kind of like 2 steaks that are rounded on either end. We'll just see which ones work out better. This is all part of like the test. I have a feeling the flat ones are gonna be really nice. I would have really loved to get one of those like really large king oyster mushrooms that like I normally can get. Just right now, they're just not in season, so it's just not gonna work out in my favor. So right now, all I'm gonna do is just use my tenderizer, and I'm gonna kind of punch some holes through it, and you can see how well that works. This thing is awesome, and we're gonna try to get as many as we can, and we're just gonna kind of move down the mushroom and create a really nice steak-like texture. I think it's gonna be awesome. Okay, that worked out really nice. So we have 2 of our flat mushrooms, 2 of our rounded mushrooms that are both perforated really well. I think this is gonna be perfect. And then we have just 2 plain mushrooms, the half rounds like what I cut. I'm leaving these just because I wanna see just the difference in how the marinade penetrates with the holes knocked out of them versus nothing. This thing really works. I have a good feeling I'm gonna be using this quite a bit. Okay, so I'm thinking for all of these, I'm gonna use about 4 cups of water. Now I have the water pretty hot. It's not boiling, it's hot. I think that'll be enough to soak up all of these mushrooms. Now for the base, I'm gonna be using a Shanghai beef broth mix. That's what's gonna go in the very first marinade. Now I'm doing 2 marinades because I wanna see some color variations. This is one, just part of the look, and I think it's also gonna kind of help really round out the flavor in this. So, because we want to get a steak that looks medium rare, you know, and I think that's going to be an ultimate goal here. So I'm going to use 1 teaspoon of the beef broth, and to really give us that look that we're going after, we're going to do at least 1 teaspoon. Let me do 2 teaspoons because I want this to be red, of some beetroot powder. Let's go ahead and mix this all in. So what I'm going to do is just add my mushrooms to a large bowl here. Make sure that they're, you know, nobody's jumping over each other. They all have their own amount of room here. And we're just gonna pour this marinade right over top. I think this is gonna get really sucked into these mushrooms perfectly. And I love the color of this too. These are so nice. So as you can see, the mushrooms do float. So I'm just gonna throw a bowl over them to kind of press them down into the marinade, make sure they're all in there really nice. And then all we're gonna do is just cover these up and let them sit for probably about an hour. 1 hour, we're gonna come back and then we'll start our second marinade. Oh, gang, good morning. Let's talk about sleep. I've been sleeping on this Helix mattress for a little over a month now, and
It is by far the best mattress I've ever had. So I want to thank Helix for sponsoring today's video.
Helix is a premium mattress in a box company that makes mattresses that fit your unique needs and preferences based on your body type and sleep style. And all you do is fill out the Helix sleep quiz. Choose your bed size, sleep position, and other personal preferences. Based on my results, Helix matched me with their Midnight Luxe mattress. Monica and I have not been wanting to get out of bed in the morning. We have been loving this mattress. It's so comfortable. And the firmness is perfect for both of us, which was really hard to nail down exactly what we each needed. Like, I needed a lot of back support, and wow, did Helix come through. They nailed it. Now, I was a little nervous buying a mattress online without having tried it in the store. But with your Helix sleep mattress, you get a 100-night sleep trial along with a 10-year warranty. And the best part is Helix delivers your mattress right to your front door for free within the US. And it's super easy to set up yourself. I set this up in about 15 minutes. All you do is open it up, roll it out, and let it puff up. It's amazing. I mean, look at how cool this is. So gang, click the link below or go to helixsleep.com/SauceStache for up to $200 off your Helix Sleep mattress. Plus, you're gonna get 2 free Helix pillows that are super comfortable. Helix, thanks for making my sleep so much better. Okay, so it's been almost an hour. These are looking pretty good. I've already looked at them. I'm loving the way they are coming out. Now I'll say the test is coming along fairly perfect because I'll tell you, the perforated mushrooms feel really nice and meaty. Creepily, if I were to close my eyes, almost like a raw meat. Really does. They really have like a really nice kind of tender. You can see how they feel in your hand. Comparing them to the non-cut ones, which are very firm, very stiff. They actually got like stiffer in this mixture here. Now I thought I had a lot more coconut oil than what I had. So we're actually gonna be doing a mix of coconut oil and olive oil. So again, we're gonna start with about a cup of warm water. It's fairly hot, but not super hot. About a cup of black vinegar. Now this stuff here, black vinegar, has a really strong, meaty taste. I love the taste of this stuff. It's almost like steak sauce, like an A1 sauce, except it's a vinegar. If you could find this at your local Asian market, it's usually a product of Taiwan, black vinegar, and you're gonna love it. Just have it on hand. It's so great to add to different sauces, soups, stews, even just sprinkling on some like rice or tofu. It's really awesome. This stuff's great to have. Now we're gonna add a tablespoon of mushroom seasoning, half teaspoon onion powder, half teaspoon smoked paprika, teaspoon liquid smoke, and a teaspoon of black strap molasses. Now, of course, we're not gonna get emulsification with this oil, but I am gonna kind of try to spread the oil out, give us a kind of emulsification. So we're just gonna start just by drizzling it in just a little bit and just see if we can get maybe a baby emulsification. We'll see. So that actually worked out a lot better than I thought it would. So we're gonna dump out this initial marinade. I'm gonna squeeze some of the mushrooms just to get rid of some of that juice, and then we're gonna cover them with this marinade. Okay, so it's time to pull these out of their marinade. I'm so excited to see how this comes out. So I want to allow these to kind of drip dry. I want like a dry exterior for the most part because I want to be able to season these up and really give them a good sear. And a dry exterior is going to help that. Now I don't want to squeeze the juice out because I don't want to lose any. I just want the outside to be kind of dry. I really have a good feeling about these. So we're just gonna season them up with just a little bit of kosher salt, some black pepper. I'm gonna do a little bit of garlic powder. Then I'm just gonna throw a touch of oil in our skillet with some vegan butter. Let that vegan butter melt. And then I'm gonna put all of these in at the same time. We're gonna do over about a medium-high heat to give them a sear on each side, turn the heat way down, and then just kind of let them simmer. And then just like, look at the way these things cook. They look so meaty. I am just so excited for tasting these juicy mushrooms. Did the perforation, did the meat tenderizer make a difference? Baby, what do you think?
It looks awesome. I'm so excited to eat this.
You love mushrooms.
I do.
So we're gonna start from the inside and go out. The inside mushroom is the unperforated mushroom. It's just the mushroom how it is. Get a little bite. So I'm gonna say right off the bat, when you look at this mushroom, it is white all the way through. Cheers, inside mushroom.
I think it's delicious.
I mean, it just tastes like a mushroom.
Well, I guess the flavor is really robust on the outside.
Yeah, I mean, I can taste a little bit of the black vinegar, which is like that mushroom seasoning. Like it tastes like steak sauce a little bit.
Yeah. No, it definitely tastes like a mushroom. It's also still like a meaty texture. So if you put it in like a sandwich or you put it in, it would still be really good, you know?
See, I think it has kind of like more of like a pop of like a mushroomy texture, not a meaty texture.
I think it's got like a firm, meaty bite.
Yeah, I mean, it's firm, but it like has that like weird chew to.
Okay.
Okay, like gelatiny. Okay, second mushroom. So same thing. This one didn't permeate all the way through. I mean, there is maybe a little bit.
A little bit.
Not as much as I wanted, but there is some stripes to it. I'm a little disappointed.
The flavor definitely came through more.
I mean, look at how steak-like that looks.
Yeah.
The texture of this one is a million times better. I mean, definitely more steak-like texture.
Yeah, so it's definitely more of a steak-like texture. It cuts a lot smoother, and the flavor went all the way through. It's very juicy.
Super juicy.
If you were to prepare and like present this like a steak, I feel like people would be very happy with this. Okay, last one. Ooh, man, as soon as I mean, the juices just are running
Out
out.
of it.
Yeah, and then you can see this one, same thing, very steak-like, fibery. I love that. Cheers.
You know, it's hard to choose between the middle one and this one. I mean, this one's also like super juicy, very
Yeah.
steak-like. I love the way that it's cooked on the outside. It's a bit more crispy, so it's
Yeah.
got more of that like crispy seared bite on the outside that you would get from a steak.
Yeah.
This texture is a little softer, and then this one's a bit more firm. That's
Yeah,
my
it is,
only-
which is
but
weird.
They're both like really, really good, just different type of steak. It's almost like two different types of steaks, but
Yeah.
they're both very steak-like.
Does
that make sense?
Yeah, I mean, totally. I'm so happy with the way these came out. I think they make really great steak
Replacements.
replacements. The chew was very nice. That's it. Buy yourself some meat tenderizer and mess with some mushrooms. You're gonna be happy about it.